and we're looking at $1,516.80 for August gold, down $12.40 on the day. The price of silver, July delivery, $34.72, down $1.61. And that's been going on all day. They attacked oil and everything else. That's your government in action again. It used to be a time when you were proud to be an American. Now your government works against you 24/7. And there's nothing we can do about it until the situation becomes so overwhelming that they have to give up. And that situation will come. In the meantime, they only can manipulate for a day or two or three. It's over and it runs back up again. So I'm not concerned, and that's why we are long-term investors, not traders. I think they overdid it on silver today. They were dumb to do that. And the fundamentals on both metals are very, very strong. But the technicals are extremely strong. I mean, long-term, intermediate term, and short term. If they don't break 32.5, 33, and it turns around and goes up again, that's the fourth test. It isn't going down any further. So we might get bashed around a little tomorrow as they try to take it down, foolishly, another $1.72, if you may, or over the next couple of days. They're not going to get anywhere. And one of the disconcerting things is that when silver came down from $50, J.P. Morgan Chase, Hong Kong Shanghai Bank Corp, and others, they didn't cover their shorts. They put on more. Another 10 million ounce short. It's in the next international forecaster, which will be out on Wednesday. So this is what we're dealing with. And when you have a corporatist fascist government, you have to expect this. And in Washington and Wall Street, nobody cares. The president just took a trip, took 500 people with him. Cost millions and millions of dollars. What was it, 6 doctors he took? I mean, it's ridiculous. And nobody says anything.
Why would he take so many doctors? I thought they were so healthy.
I think probably 4 of them were psychiatrists.
Probably.
Be as it may, it just shows you what this dolt is thinking of. And he just gave under executive order, either Friday or over the weekend, he has given $20 million of our money to bring thousands of people off the Gaza Strip into the United States to make it easier for Israel to take over Palestine. Unbelievable. Just unbelievable. We've got 22.4% unemployment. And, of course, that was all done secretly. It didn't make the major media. They don't want the public to know. It's like the Bilderberger meeting. It was all over the news in Europe, particularly with the Italian representative from the Northern League, which is one of the parties in Italy, who represents Italy in the European Union, in their parliament. And he said to the animals that are guarding these Bilderberger people, hold on for 1 second, Gold 15, 16, 60, down 1260. And silver 34.76, down 157. Little improvement in silver. He said, I want to go in. There should be no secret meetings. Now, the guards there were hired on contract from what used to be Eastern Germany, probably all ex-Stasi, Gestapo types. They threw him to the ground and bounced his head off the ground and broke his nose, lacerations. They don't care who they're dealing with. They are a law unto themselves. And several Swiss representatives, these are federal representatives, marched on the hotel that they were in, and they were confronted and stopped. They didn't care that they were members of Parliament. This is what you're dealing with. You people don't understand. Almost all the newsletter writers don't understand. You got to understand the history of these people and what they've been up to for generations. And these people are very serious, because if they lose, they die. And they know it. So this is a fight for the future of the totality of humanity in this world. Because if these people are going down, they're going to try to take everybody with them. You have to understand that you're dealing with deranged, sick people. I don't know of any other way to describe it. So anyway, coming back to the questions. And these are from last week. I didn't get any fresh today. Friday.
Well, I saw...
what's that?
I saw some come through on Friday that we'll have them there on when we do the program on Wednesday. We'll get updated. We'll get updated on all the questions.
Okay. This is from Tim. I had been talking on last Wednesday's program concerning July 1 being the beginning of the new year for many states, with the possibility of seeing a lot of government layoffs. And question number one, do you expect the layoffs instantly, or how long after July 1 do you foresee this? Well, first of all, they're looking for, I think it's 1,350 to be laid off this year, and 13,500 this year, 14,500 next year. I think it's going to be a lot more than that. And I think if you stop and think of what their problem is, no money, and debt staring them in the face, the easiest people to get rid of are the people who make up 70% of the overhead costs, sometimes 60, 65, but 70 is a rule of thumb. So that's where they go first. And many of these people will have been working with state municipal agencies for 15 to 30 years. And the employees are very concerned. And that's going to continue. It's not going to stop after this year and next year. It's going to get worse. I wish I could be more encouraging, but I can't. People don't listen to me because they want to be entertained. This is very serious business. I'm a gladiator in the middle of the ring, surrounded by 15 people, and with words, I have to dispatch each one of them. That's the kind of job I've got. Not very enviable. But, as they say, somebody's got to do it, and I have the skin, emotionally, of an armadillo. Gracias. I get two more questions, and I said thank you to my wife in Spanish, not thinking. Anyway, that's the kind of situation we're in. So, if you want the truth, here it is. If you don't, flip the dial, because this is where it's at. Second question. Are you seeing large firms selling out from state and city bonds before July gets here? There has been an ongoing liquidation of dead instruments called bonds for 3 years. We told everybody to get out 3 years ago. I must admit we don't run into many people with municipals anymore. But maybe one or two like in the last year. And fortunately for them, they didn't buy them or got out. But anyway, they have been selling for a long time, and they will continue to sell. Nothing's going to stop that. There's over 100 municipalities in America that are broke. Some states are cutting departments by 80%. 80%. Now, to answer your question again, it's going to be a massacre, as they used to say in the Western movies, which I don't even see anymore because they won't put them on. Anyway, I used to like watching them. With that said, it's going to get worse. Next. When I viewed the IF clip of Ron Paul questioning Mr. Scott Alvarez of the Federal Reserve, the announcement that the Fed does not have any gold, only gold certificates, was a surprise. However, Mr. Alvarez's background clarification seemed to be unconvincing when he said, "We have not owned any gold since 1934, when we turned it over by law to the Treasury. We simply have an accounting document that is called gold certificates that represent the statutory rate that we gave to the Treasury in 1934. Question 1, since the gold appears to be owned by the Treasury, why should the Fed have revalued their $35 certificates, which was the price of gold in 1934, to the 1971 price of $42.22? And the answer is, and I haven't read these before, I'm sorry. The answer is, it's just accounting entry. I'm sure behind the scenes they have another agreement that we don't know about, and only they do. And 71 was a very interesting year. We saw on August the 15th the U.S. dollar remove its gold backing. And we also saw, after that, the attempted support of gold through the 1970s. 78 was a big year. Now, the IMF and others were selling gold. It didn't do any good. Gold went up anyway. Number 2, does it appear that the Fed is trying to distance itself from owning gold bullion, which would be understandable if they were aware that the Treasury's Lawrence Summers and Robert Rubin have already disposed of most of the gold in Fort Knox? And the answer is yes. Absolutely. I mean, they made fortunes working with and for the government. They're worth hundreds of millions of dollars from screwing the American public. Number 3, what does the statement of no interest in gold by the Fed do to its balance sheet value? Really nothing. Incidentally, these questions came from Bristol in England, from a avid listener. His name is Robert, which is a very nice name, incidentally. Anyway, they want to distance themselves. The gold that has been sold and the gold shenanigans and the silver rigging that you're seeing all emanates from the Exchange Stabilization Fund, which we've been writing about, well, in a big way for the last 15 years. Prior to that, we wrote about it all the way through the 60s and 70s, when most everybody else didn't even know what it was. Now I see a couple of newsletter writers have suddenly discovered it. In 1934, the U.S. joined in the Bank for International Settlements, BIS. They didn't become board members or have representation directly with the BIS until 1994. If I remember correctly, Alan Greenspan was put on one of their committees or something. They tried to distance themselves. And I'm going to break here for a second because I'm going to give you gold and silver again. It doesn't come back by that often on this program. 15, 16 even, down 13.20. Silver, 34.79 down 154. Now, so at the same time, they created a subsidiary to the Treasury, the Exchange Stabilization Fund. And that, of course, was during the Depression. And they wanted to use that fund to manipulate currency markets. And that's what they did. In latter years, the money which they have in there, which today is over $1 trillion, quote, in cash, they've lent it out illegally to the government of Mexico during 1994, I think it was, when the peso was devalued, which we predicted, incidentally. It was devalued, and their economy was in trouble. And in order to pay off bankers and others, the Exchange Stabilization Fund lent money to Mexico, again, illegally. Next, they decided, because the ESF, as it's called, was involved in currency transactions all the time, that they would use it as a receptacle, we'll call it, for gold. And up until recently, when there's been very little gold selling or buying activity, it was very active in the gold market. Now, they probably don't have any gold. If they do, it's not very much. And if they do, it's probably melt, which is not good delivery. Runs around 0.80, and that's not good enough. It has to be 0.99. Anyway, that's a little background into little games that they play. And the people who are running the Exchange Stabilization Fund for the Treasury, they work in conjunction with the President's working group on financial markets, which was formed under an executive order by Ronald Reagan in 1988, August of that year. So you can see how all of this dovetails together. The criminality is beyond belief. Beyond belief. The money that's been stolen by the Fed and its members and others who are connected to them are in the quadrillions of dollars. You have no idea how you've been screwed, how bad it is. And neither do the other nations out there, except the ones that are in on it, which is about a dozen of them. They all work together. And they're big ones, so they really control 70% of what goes on. You want to pick it up from here, Melody?
Has there ever been a book written as far as...
Go ahead, say it again.
Has there been any books written as far as the amount of funds, documentation of this all these years compiled into one book?
No. And I'll tell you one of the reasons why for that. It's that you can't get the information. They won't give it to you.
Hold on, we'll be going to break here. We'll be right back, folks.
Years ahead of the dominant media, FirstAmendmentRadio.com and FirstAmendmentRadio.net, around the world and on satellite.
Record budget deficits, bankruptcies galore, and the U.S. dollar is at an all-time low. With today's gloomy economic outlook, safe investments are often hard to find. For over a decade, Melody Cedarstrom at Discount Gold and Silver Trading Company has been helping people secure their future by investing in the precious metals. Melody has the honesty, integrity, and experience that is often lacking in the precious metals business. Let her put it to work for you. Call Discount Gold and Silver Trading at 800-375-4188. That's 800-375-4188.
Hi, Nicholas here. I used to lug those big jugs to the market to fill with water from those coin-operated filter machines, 25 cents a gallon or 5 gallons for $1. I used to. Then I got the big Berkey. Now I save my back and hundreds of dollars too. I was paying $600 for the same 3,000 gallons of water that a pair of black Berkey filters will provide from my own tap for only $99. This means that your Berkey water system will entirely pay for itself with only 1,500 gallons of use. And then you will still have 1,500 gallons left before you need to replace the filters. Do the math. Stop throwing your money away on bottled water and filter dispensers that may or may not be delivering as promised. For a limited time, First Amendment Radio is offering 10% off on the most popular Berkey water systems. Visit the shopping page at FirstAmendmentRadio.com or call us at 559-781-3773 for more information. Leave your name and address and we'll send you this special offer. Do it now. First Amendment Radio is an authorized distributor of Berkey products. The Greatest Prophecy DVD with Cross the Border Productions. Embrace the little-known but greatest prophecy given by the great high priest. The pre-incarnate Messiah reveals God's once secret plan for mankind. Believe it. Behold, the end times in Daniel chapter 2, because
the dream is certain, and the interpretation thereof sure.
It is the key to prophecy future. Comprehend the 7-year Great Tribulation deception. Be not deceived. Understand the great prophecy delusion, because
if it were possible, they shall deceive the very elect.
Be forewarned. America in prophecy, exposed for all to see. The mark of the beast. No, it's not a biochip. A much better and more secure technology is already here, and you are already using it. 2 copies, one for you and one for you to give away when you send a support donation of $25 to First Amendment Radio. Use the chip-in event on our website or send $25 cash to First Amendment Radio, 139 East Tulare Avenue, Tulare, California, 93274. Make copies and give them away. send $25 cash for 2 copies of The Greatest Prophecy DVD. That's First Amendment Radio, 139 East Tulare Avenue, Tulare, Tulare, California, 93274. A wise man is forewarned and prepares for the time to come. The Greatest Prophecy DVD.
Hear it first on FirstAmendmentRadio.com and FirstAmendmentRadio.net, around the world and on satellite.
The only risk that you would take, the only loss you could forsake, the only bluff you couldn't fake, and you're still the same.
And thank you for joining us this afternoon. You're listening to Financial Survival, brought to you by Discount Gold and Silver Trading. Our telephone number is 1-800-375-4188. That's 800-375-4188. Also use that telephone number for your complimentary issue to the International Forecaster. And Bob, would you like to tell us about the International Forecaster, please?
The forecast is about business, finance, economic, social, and political issues all over the world. They publish on Wednesdays and Saturdays. It's about 40 pages each time. And we have a hard copy that goes out twice a month for those who are not on the Internet. And everything that you need to learn, know about, each week is in that publication. If you'd like a free introductory copy, you can go to theinternationalforecaster.com. The International Forecaster.com. You can also go to www.intforecaster.com. intforecaster.com. If you have a question, and we answer them all, if you'd like a copy of either, or if you'd like our latest recommendation of gold and silver shares, you can email us. That address is Bob, B-O-B, at intforecaster.com. Bob at intforecaster.com. If you'd like to call in toll-free, that number is...
Our telephone number is 1-800-375-4188. Give us a call here at Discount Gold and Silver Trading for your complimentary issue to the International Forecaster. And our screens are down today, along with our email and everything else. We did get some prices, and we've been writing business, but I've been using my BlackBerry as far as the prices and everything. And for some reason, it's just not pulling up my emails on that. So I guess it's time to update that. But just like anything else, Bob, it seems
well,
like
I have the latest prices. These are only 2 minutes old. And gold is $15, $16, $10, off $13.10. And silver is $13.74, and that's off $159.
What's silver?
$34.74. Off $159.
You don't realize how dependent you become on these computers and everything for news, for everything that we do on a daily basis. Gold prices and $20 gold pieces today, they really only dropped not so bad, about $10 from Friday's prices. Mint State 61, $20 Liberties. The price on those today are $1,790. If you're looking for extra fines, the price on those are only $35 less, $17.55. So pay that $35, folks, and get yourself a Mint State coin at $1,790. It'll do you well in the future when you go to sell those coins back. You know exactly what you have. When you buy those extra fines, you don't know if you're getting VS. You don't know if you're getting jewelry grade. And I've seen them sold back into the market. And the only thing that leads, where people get jewelry grade and, they get thousands of dollars that they